Greetings to the video. Today I want to prevent you from ending up like this.
This happened at the weekend. I have fractured my wrist. I came off my bike on some ice basically.
Very quick short story time. I wanted to go on my bike. This was about 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And I just like being outside. I just want to ride my bike. I just want to have fun, do some exercise, get a sweat on. And it had been snowing, it had been icy. And I was like, I'm just going to go out. It'll be fine. The roads are clear now. There's like bits of snow at the side of the road. I was like, I'll be fine. Ended up going out. It was fine. I just got loads of nice warm clothes on. And I ended up going up this little lane that I normally go to when I go to Dovestones. And I hit black ice. And I came off, fell onto my wrist, and I was in a lot of pain. Ended up going to hospital. And anyway, it turned out that luckily it wasn't fractured. I went to see the specialist. The nurse had seen it on the x-ray and she said, I think that's broken. I think there's a fracture there. The specialist said, no, it's not. So I didn't have to wear a cast and I could ride my bike. So I was like, amazing. However, because the weather is pretty bad now, I wanted to share with you my favourite ways of checking whether I think it's safe enough to go out or not. And it's going to vary for everyone, and everyone's kind of tolerances are different, but I'm just going to share what I do and what I've done since doing that, because since then I was like, I will never ever risk that again. First one, well, I'll show you them now. AccuWeather, Met Office, Epic Ride Weather, Windy and YR. So first one is YR, this is the simplest one that I use in terms of temperature. So even though it might be, say, 3 degrees when you're going to set off in the morning, or 5 degrees, or 8 degrees, I can't even speak, 8 degrees even. What I will do is I will check what the temperature has dropped to on the previous night, or in the night, like if I'm checking the night before, like how low is the temperature going to go? Because if it's going to drop to say -3 or something, or -2, then you know there's going to be potential for ice the next morning. So you can see on here, you just kind of go through, look at the temperature each hour. So that's what I use that app for. The next one I use is Met Office, and this is more of a general everyday one. I think this is probably one of my favourites, just in the fact that I kind of pick each day which is going to be the best day to go out, so if I want to plan like a longer ride. But also what I like about this is it shows you the feels like temperature, because the feels like is also very different on a bike to what it actually is, because you get that extra wind chill as well. So what the feels like is I always kind of take a couple of degrees off. So that's really good for that. It's also really good for the rain. So you can see an actual map here of what the weather and the rain is going to do. So you can see where it's passing over. So for example, if I need to do like a 3-hour or a 2-hour ride outside, I'll just see in the day which is going to be the best time for me to head out, morning or afternoon. So that's what I use that one for. Windy, this is insane, because the thing with wind is that I like riding on the hills, in the hills, high up, and this shows you specifically what those wind temperatures, what the wind is going to be on those higher up areas. And it shows you really simply. So for me, when it's green, I know I'm not going to go out in it. I will aim to go out when it's between 10 and 15 degrees. So this is also a really good one to do if you want to try and get a PB on a segment, because you can try and make sure that you've got a bit of basically not a headwind. So that's really handy to have. Also, you can add different things on there. So you can put wind and thunder, thunderstorms. That'll show you where the thunderstorms are. There aren't any at the minute, thankfully. And rain accumulation, like where it's going to be the rainiest. And yeah, the main thing for that though is wind and showing the temperature. Why do I keep saying temperatures? Showing the speed and how that's going to change throughout the day. So it just gets me very excited about weather. I do love weather. And then the next one, which is really good for rain, is this will tell you when rain is about to start and when it's going to end. So for example, if I'm in like a cafe and it says that the rain's going to, stop in 5 minutes. Hang on, this is how I do it. Yeah, so it's going to stop in 5 minutes, then I'll just wait 5 and then set off home, so I'm not riding when it's raining, there's less visibility. Whereas if it says it's going to stop raining in 3 hours, then I know I can't wait for 3 hours, I'm just going to set off in it. So this is a really good one. It's pretty accurate as well, and it is by minute. And then also what you can do is if you go onto, oh, where is it on there? Oh yeah, this is it. So that tells you in the day. So you just click on that and it tells you when it's gonna stop and start. It's really good. I mean, rain's okay, but you just need to make sure that you're gonna take lights and stuff if it's gonna be raining. And then the final one, which is not necessarily if I'm gonna go out or not, but this is amazing if you are doing a route and you wanna know what the weather and the temperature is gonna be like throughout that route, because I've done it before where you're kind of going up really high and you don't think that the temperature is gonna change that much. So, for example, let me pick a route that I've got on Strava. Say it's this one. So if I was gonna set off on this route now, you click weather for this route. This is a paid for one. The other ones are all free. This one, I think it's $7.99. But this shows you the temperature throughout that ride, the precipitation and cloud cover, wind, and then also you've got wind direction. And I think for me anyway, the main thing for being safe in winter is looking out for the wind when you're high up on the moors or on the hills, and ice. They're like my main ones. And for me, if the wind is more than around, I want to say like 17 miles an hour, I don't tend to go out because I just don't like that feeling. And then also if there's been any drop below 0 in the night before, I will not go out. I just won't do it. So I guess they're my ways how I decide whether I'm going to go out. And to be fair, a lot of the time in winter, I just go on Zwift because it's just like putting all the extra layers on and stuff. But I just thought I would share that, and they're the apps that I use to kind of determine, you know, what it's actually doing outside. Because sometimes you can look out and it looks fine, and then you get out and you're like, this is way worse than I thought it was going to be. And I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, oh, don't worry about the apps, just go out in it. I did used to do that, and then look what happened. I potentially fractured my wrist, so I've learnt my lesson from that. And I think I always err on the side of caution and just going on the turbo if I don't think I just think it's more risk, and I don't think you get as good training outside in winter. That's just my opinion though. So I hope that video has helped. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next video.